Julia Lo Bue-Said is the Chief Executive of the Advantage Travel Partnership, an association of independent travel agents, and also involved in the government's Global Travel Task Force. Julia, just remind people what the Global Travel Task Force was set up for.
Yes, good morning, Victoria. Set up by the DFT, it's a task force to work with lots of different industry leaders and experts to work to a roadmap to start to resume international travel.
On Saturday, we had a scientist, Dr. Mike Tilsley, very well respected, who is one of the government's scientific advisors, saying he thought it very unlikely people would be going on holiday abroad from the UK this summer. Then we heard the Defence Secretary yesterday. How does that feed into the kind of work you're doing on the task force?
Well, it really doesn't, and those comments are exceptionally unhelpful and speculative at this stage. The Grant Shapps has indicated 12th of April is the day that the report will be presented to the Prime Minister, and it will be announced at that, published at that time as well. So these comments really add no value right now when we are working to this report, and hopefully the report will give us an indication, well, it will give us an indication of actually how we can resume international travel. So they really add no benefit other than to mine consumer confidence and disrupt businesses operating in this sector.
But if a scientist says he thinks it's highly unlikely, we give that weight, don't we? That is a credible voice in this conversation. Are you saying that even the scientists don't know at this stage?
All along this has been about data, and I think we've heard very, very clear messaging from the government that it's all about data, it's not about dates. Given 2 months, and 17th of May is the earliest date we can expect any international travel to resume, given we are 2 months away from that, 2 months in the life of our pandemic is an awful long time. So to be talking about those speculative comments now, you know, it really seems to add no value at all, even from a scientist who, frankly, should know better.
Can you give us any, I mean, obviously it's 2 months away, but do you think people do want to know if they can book something or not? Do you think it is likely or unlikely that people will be able to go away this summer, or are you just not going to enter that debate, having criticised others for doing so?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speculate, and I wouldn't have the authority to talk in that capacity anyhow. What I can say, though, is that we know consumers are desperate to travel. It's not just about holidays. We have, you know, families who have been split up across the world, and businesses are so reliant on travel. So once the data indicates that international travel is safe and that there are mechanisms in place to keep travellers safe, then that's the time when we would expect that we can start to travel. So too early to say. We are certainly confident that through the government's Global Travel Task Force and the roadmap that it is announced, that international travel can resume safely. And obviously, as an industry, we'll be doing everything we can to support the government on that roadmap as well.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, bearing that conversation in mind,